dark mode with no retreat. Failures never taste the sweet. Science lessons learned in flight. Journey on through endless night. For the stars, we aim so high. The projected kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Orbit dreams won't be delayed. Lessons learned from missions made. Kerbal Kind will forge a path to the stars beyond this path. For the stars, we aim so high. The projected kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Keep flying through the light.
Oops. I forgot to take it off repeat. Hang on. I got one last bite of the sandwich. I didn't finish it fast enough. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Oh. All right. Okay. All right, I still have half a sandwich left for later. That's gonna be sick. Okay, put that over there. All right. Okay. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready. The garage is still smoky, by the way, just in case anybody was wondering. What kind? Steak bomb, baby. Steak bomb. So it's like a steak, cheese, onion, pepper, mushrooms, and bacon. Actually, I don't think that one had mushrooms on it, but yeah. So it was steak and cheese, onions, peppers, and bacon. It was delicious. Good skid. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was. Oh, it was good. It was good. All right, let's see what's going on in the spaceflight industry. Once again, sorry, I'm an hour later than than I normally would be. I might burp a little bit. I'm sorry if I do. I seriously apologize. Burp. There was a Vegas launch the other day, and there was a slight underperformance. Okay. Yeah, that Vegas seed launch before Firefly. Let the frustration out with skids. Yeah, buddy. Well, that proves to me that despite all the freaking holes in that thing, Paul, she still holds together, dude. Whoa. If it changed spots, you see that? It still holds together, man. Pretty cool. Note the fan. Because up at the ceiling, dudes, there's still smoke. All power. I definitely posted to the Discord. It's in the My Project thing. Here's a shot from the garage. I took this picture. it got a little smoky in there. It got a little smoky. A little smoky in there. Dude, we grabbed second. I got second with it. We got second gear. So, that's good. Dude, my neighbors were all outside and they're like, "Is your garage on fire?" And I'm like, no, it's good. And they were like, "Did you mean to do that?" And I'm like, oh yeah, no, my foot slipped and the gas pedal got stuck or something. They didn't buy it. I'm a Ford guy, but Mopar's very nice. I love Fords, Paul. Ford's my thing. I have a soft spot for late 60s and early 70s Mopar. I don't know why. It's very strange. I just love them. They're awesome cars. What are neighbors? Yeah. All right, anyway. Not strange, their history. Yeah, they're really cool, man. They're cool cars. Cornet, Roadrunner, GTX, Satellite, Charger, Super B, Superbird. Those are cool cars, man. They're just cool. They're just really, really cool vehicles. And I'm really happy that I have one. 60s Falcons are your favorite. We'll work on one of those eventually. Anyway. You like the bow ties? Yeah, honestly, any car from any American car from like 1965 to 1972, I'm kind of cool with. Yeah, kind of cool. I just really like Mopars. They're awesome. But I mean, Kolchak, if somebody, they have a 60, if there's like a 68 Chevelle project that popped into my lap, I'd be like, yeah. Here's my bow tie, like. You got a killer 302, you're putting in an A. Nice. All right. I know you're not into SUVs, but I'd love to have a Grand Wagoneer from that era. Regular leaded gas. That's right, man. Hippie Joe, what's going on with the $5 super chat? Thank you. Am I weird for liking Buick and Oldsmobiles? No, BOP stuff is cool. Anyway. Shall we, Space News? Let's do this. So, This was yesterday morning. This was before the Firefly launch. Arianespace launched a Vega C rocket. I don't think there's any sound. Okay. No sound, but, you know, whatever. Really, Paul? Nice. Cool. Décollage. Tous des vidéos. Count final. Cool. So we did get a pretty cool shot here. This is Andrew Parsonson that actually posted this, but it's coming from Arianespace. This one has sound. Oh, that's sick. That's really cool. I think that camera quite actually got blown away. Later. Sweet. That honking noise that you hear at the beginning is the water suppressor turning on. Take a look at the full stream. There was some underperformance on the SRBs. Okay.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
top.
Décollage.
Allumage P120, décollage. Propulseur nominal, début du basculement.
So you're saying there was some
Propulseur nominal.
underperformance? Let's see.
But also at liftoff, we have when we
Début que de
fire
pousser.
the booster, there is quite a high acoustic vibration environment. Then the fairing is used to damp it,
Oh.
and as
Okay. So this is telemetry-driven animations here. Now, over here represents where the booster... The X in the yellow line is where the booster is, and the darker line, right, with the circle is the ground track. That's where it should be going. Long story short, there's a circle and there's an X. If the X goes out of the circle, you got a bad day. You're out of the track, which is
as well to
not great. Hold on.
acoustic vibration environment. Then the fairing is used to damp it, and as well to
Trajectoire nominale, pilotage calme.
You
as
sure
we
about
go
that?
through the atmosphere, it helps
You sure about that?
reducing the heat loads
He just said the trajectory was good. You sure about that?
generated by the friction with the atmosphere or the vibration. So it's quite a
Dude, that thing is
clever
hanging
piece
on
of-
by a
of
thread.
hardware, yeah.
Very important. You can see it at the front
The
of the
quarter
rocket there,
panels
the
on
sort
my
of
car
bulbous
are more
section.
solid than this.
Right, we have now the scheduled moment to separate the Z40 to jettison that.
Séparation Z40.
That's
So we
been
just
That's
confirmation.
dude, that's dangerously close to being out of the track. That's huge underperformance. You're not as high as you should be, meaning the SRBs didn't do something right. Something very similar to what happened to our friends over at Firefly, which does suck. That really sucks. They lost the payload. We'll talk more about that later. This is low. So this is an altimeter. This is altitude right here. That's the speed is right for 4 minute 41. The speed is correct, but you're low.
that the
So-
Zephyro 40 stage has been
Separation
separated.
les coiffes.
and
Allumage Z9.
And
we've switched on the engine of the Z9, and we've also waiting for
Propulseur
confirmation
nominal.
of the fairing
Yeah, see
jettisoning.
the diverging lines? That's not great.
Séparation des coiffes.
Separation des
we
coiffes.
have it. Yeah.
So we can see our satellite for the first time, Samuel. Why don't you
Bro, that thing is hanging on by a thread. If it goes out of that circle, that means it's out of its track. So a rocket, if you like picture, okay, so what is the track? Like, what does that mean? So rockets fly on basically a parabolic arc. They go up first and then they gradually move more horizontal, right? eventually parallel to the ground, going 17,500 miles an hour, 27,000 kilometers an hour, right? That's what you're getting at, right? So in that parabolic arc, there is basically a nominal trajectory, okay? So like think about it like if you took a slinky, right? And you pulled one side up and it would kind of make like a tube going in that direction. That tube is the track. Now the track is usually, I don't know, maybe plus or minus like quarter mile in each direction. It's not a big track, but if you go outside of that cylinder following your parabolic arc, you're out of the you're out of your projected flight trajectory. You're out of a nominal flight trajectory, which usually is grounds for termination. That's usually blow it up. Tube in it, right, mate? Yeah. So that thing is hanging on by a thread. It is at the edge of the track in terms of underperformance. So it's at the bottom of this thing. So like if you have a pipe that's like going up, it's at the bottom of that pipe.
Yeah, on the left of the screen, you can see on the right,
Trajectoire nominale.
passenger with, of course, its radar and solar panel folded. It's attached to what remains of the launcher, which is rather small as compared to what was on the pad,
Yes,
through the adapter,
that.
this black cone. And then you have the upper stage, which is
Pression.
or toward orientation.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed, we are
And ideas. And here is the
signal at the
It looks like the second and third stages worked fine. Your underperformance happened right here. Interesting, because the other lines are not diverging anymore. They're parallel.
Bermuda tracking station, which you can see there on the
coast of Australia to orient,
now of
which is
teamwork by the European.
Yep. The last stage, the Avum upper stage, it corrected. We're good. Would you rather have overperformance? I'd rather neither, Cryo. There's a reason why you have a nominal range. Overperformance is bad because that means you didn't take something into account that's making your rocket go a lot faster than you anticipated. That could screw up a lot of other things. Like a lot of other things, right? You don't want underperformance, you definitely don't want overperformance. Well, reverse that. You don't want overperformance, you definitely don't want underperformance. Because underperformance is what happened to Firefly. But either way, it looks like the album corrected, so yeah, that probably shouldn't be ignored right there, but yeah, it's fine. It made it, which is good.
In aerospace giant Airbus Defence and Space, and all of that's been done in the UK.
and
Yeah. You probably don't. You probably should be taken you probably should take that into account, right? That it performed unlike how you wanted, but yeah, it made it. It's fine. Yeah, it's okay. You love the YouTube short on it? Drummer just posted it, dudes.
2.5 minutes
There's Miko.
after liftoff. Coming up on.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Excuse me.
H2 ignition. Chamber pressure looks nominal.
That's not great. The nozzle tipped the first stage. I'm 100% sure of that. Because there's no nozzle. Because it's, it's not there. Yeah.
Fairing separation.
That was me talking to Alex.
View from the vehicle here.
You can see the fairings jettisoned.
Yep.
Otherwise, you couldn't see the Earth.
The limb of the Earth.
It
Second
corrected
stage
for it.
the
You
lightning-
got. Yeah. Yeah. The nozzle. The nozzle did some things on that Firefly flight that was not. It was doing things that it wasn't supposed to do. So, here's the update from Firefly. Firefly Flight 6 did fly yesterday, and that's why I showed the short, because Flight 6 update. Initial indication showed Alpha's upper stage reached 320 kilometers in altitude. However, upon further assessment, the team learned the stage did not reach orbital velocity, and the stage and payload have now safely impacted the Pacific Ocean in a cleared zone north of Antarctica. My graphics automations work, just saying. Right. No, they were good, man. They did good. The telemetry could, maybe we should dial that in next time. But Ryan, yeah, no, it worked. It was great. It was a great cast. The cast was perfect. Just saying. Just saying, man. The cast was ace. Super sad. I had a small bit of software on that sat. That sucks, man. Hey, I just managed what's on the screen, not what's behind it. Right. See last, please. What's up, dude? IMO, Flight 6 mission failed due to a second stage nozzle failure. From watching the plume footage, hints that the vehicle followed a lofted trajectory to maximize S2's altitude, same like SpaceX does. However, post-MECO, Alpha failed to stabilize the rates, and the nozzle contacted the inner stage at ignition. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that's any different than what I just said a second ago, where the nozzle tipped the second stage in the reaction video. I immediately knew what happened with that thing. Like, I was like, nozzle tipped the stage, because dude, right when that happened, I thought of the last mission, that last Firefly mission from last year, where the nozzle came like that close from hitting the first stage. It was about that much. NSF did an okay job. They forgot to cut in their chat after launch for 2 minutes. Yeah, they went a little quiet. No U-turn, but whatever. If anything, Dawson, we'll learn. That's the thing, dude. We'll learn for sure. So this was, I immediately thought of this. This was Firefly's flight. I think this was flight 4. Oh. Like I said, about that much. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember this. Oh, I'm so excited to see them. All the way from 6 years ago. It's been a fantastic trip. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yeah. Going through the backlog of videos to find sound bites for Starship animation. Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, I immediately knew it was the same thing. I was like, they tipped the nozzle, and it failed miserably. What could cause that? Trajectory, trying to optimize the trajectory. I think that's what they did. As Baron was saying, they had a radial out component to their ascent, and they didn't correct for the radial out component. Okay, this is a water bottle, I understand that, but bear with me here. So, say your second stage, say this is your second stage, right? So Falcon 9 does this. At the later part of the first stage ascent, they tilt the thing up relative to prograde velocity. So it's flying kind of like this. It's flying pitched up, right? What Falcon 9 does, though, at the last second, and you can see it because the plume changes shape, it does this and then separates the stage straight on into their forward velocity or prograde velocity. Firefly did that, but they forgot to do this part. It seems like they forgot to do that. So when they separated it, the stage went like this. It tried to go like this, but aerodynamics, what little aerodynamics there was, separated it like that. And it started spinning like this. Does that make sense? There was a radial out component in the ascent trajectory at the later parts of first stage burn. It didn't correct for it. So they separated the stage crooked. Thank you for removing the pin message. So yeah, that's not great. We do have an update from Jason Kim. He's the CEO of Firefly. What did he have to say? That is why SpaceX has the pusher. That's exactly why SpaceX has the pusher, Darkroot. If anybody's wondering why SpaceX has that rod on the first stage that pushes right up the nozzle of the second stage, that's what that's there for. To keep that nozzle centered in the inner stage so it doesn't tip the sides. SpaceX had that problem. They had that problem on a Falcon 1 flight. That exact problem. A nozzle hit the inner stage. That's happened, and since then, every Falcon 9 has that push rod in the center to keep the nozzle straight when it separates. I'm trying to understand what's their separator system. Look into the inner stage. I don't know. For Watery Wings Wednesday. Oh, yeah, the Liberty Lifter. Anna. I spoke to a friend at Firefly, and the whole team is taking this failure hard. Pretty big morale hit, which sucks, especially coming off the high landing on the moon. Why? Why take it hard? You have 25 missions locked in with Lockheed Martin. Don't worry about it. Why take it tough? Fix the fucking problem and fix the problem and fly it again. Easy peasy. Excuse my language. Sorry. I'm very passionate about this stuff. Just fix it. It's not a big deal. That was a demo flight. I also got to time myself out. Okay. They lost a payload excessive. Fix it and get it right next time. Surely you know what went wrong. Like, if anybody from Firefly's watching it, you guys shouldn't be hanging your heads. Seriously. How many other private companies have made it into orbit? SpaceX, Blue Origin, Astra, believe it or not, Rocket Lab, and you guys. That's it. That's it. Now, two of those companies really pretty much aren't your competition there. Okay? You know, Firefly is not at a point where they can compete with SpaceX or Blue, right? So that leaves Rocket Lab, Astra, and Firefly. That's it. What other commercial companies, commercial small sat launchers have made it into orbit? You're amongst an elite crowd. Don't worry about it. Just get it right. Easy peasy. Astra's on life support, right? Astra's on life support. And Rocket Lab would be a pretty good role model. Astra will be fine, guys. I know you guys, everybody thinks they won't. Rocket 4 is not going to be bad. Oh yeah, Northrop Grumman with Antares. That's another one. You're in a pretty damn elite crowd, considering all these companies out there that have all these ambitions about going to space. You know, I'm not saying they won't do it, right? But there's, you know, you got like Relativity, you got Stoke, you got Varda, whatever they're doing. Like there's a bunch of other companies that are trying to do this, and very few actually have done this. Don't worry about it. Get it into space. It ain't a big deal. This stuff happens. It happens. Rocket Lab had a near miss a couple months ago. Yep. This happens. Oh yeah, I didn't include ULA. In my mind, I don't see them as new space though. But it's definitely a commercial provider and should be warranted. I just. Yeah, exactly. And guess, yeah, Astra is using Firefly engines, which is pretty cool. So I wouldn't. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, this doesn't feel good. You lost a payload for a customer, and that sucks. But you have Lockheed Martin committed to 25 of these. So now is not the time to be down in the dumps. Figure out what's wrong and fix it. You got 25 more tries. I know that's not how that works, but it's all right. It's going to be fine. You'll be all right. Northrop Grumman owns like 40% of Firefly, by the way. Interesting. I'm always rooting for the whole team. As Stranis is 3 blocks away, I want Astra to do well more than most. Yeah, they're in Alameda, dude. Yeah, they're on the other side of the bay. Commitment for 15 launches. They have an option for 10 more. So, no time to be down in the dumps. Fix the damn thing. You got payloads to launch, baby. Let's go. All right. What is Jason Kim saying? Daring greatly. Today, our Alpha Flight 6 rocket experienced an anomaly during second stage separation that led to the loss of our Lightning engine nozzle extension, reducing its thrust. Even more disappointing is we didn't come through for Lockheed Martin, and we own that. We're working closely with our Lockheed partners, shareholders, and the FAA through the anomaly investigation and root cause and corrective action swiftly. At the end of the day, our Firefly team is resilient and consistently continues to overcome the hardest of challenges. This is no different. We are committed to Lockheed in providing reliable Alpha launches and our customer base and the countless advocates that have already reached out with an abundance of support in the arena. Yeah. Well, don't worry about it. Look, that company, Firefly's landed something on the moon. Now, let's be real. That's something no other private company can say. Intuitive Machines can't say that. Astrobotic? They didn't even get close. Just saying. Just put it out there. You landed on the moon. Don't worry about it. You'll get it. They'll get it. I have nothing but the utmost faith. SpaceX can't say that. That's right. That's right. "99% of countries can't say that." That's right. Phil, like, if I could speak to the people at Firefly, I wouldn't. Guys, don't worry about it. Yeah, failure sucks. Don't, and it. Believe me, I've had my stuff blow up in my face before. It is not a good feeling. It's not great. But what did I do? We just build another one. Let's go. You're fine. They'll be fine. They'll be back, and in greater numbers. Speaking of Intuitive Machines, let's see what they're up to. Intuitive Machines has been awarded up to $10 million from the Space Exploration and Research Fund, SEERF, to drive space innovation. This grant supports the development of an Earth re-entry vehicle and orbital fabrication lab. Critical tech for microgravity biomanufacturing and future lunar missions. In partnership with Rhodium Scientific, we're bringing science from orbit to Earth. Something like that, Grim 2. Yeah, exactly. 10 million. An Earth re-entry vehicle, an orbital fabrication lab. Interesting. Yeah, that's not gonna... 10 million isn't a lot, but... Interesting. Go look at the article. Don't tell me what to do, you prick. I mean, hi, Grab Shark. Dude, I clicked on it like right as you said that. But you did it. But you did it. Shut up, man. No, all right, let's see what they're up to. Texas Space Commission selects Intuitive Machines to advance Earth re-entry microgravity biomanufacturing spacecraft. The Texas Space Commission has selected Intuitive Machines, a leading space technology, infrastructure, and services company, for a grant up to $10 million from the Space Exploration and Research Fund. This funding, actually, the Texas Space Commission. Interesting. It's not NASA. This is Texas Space Commission. This funding supports the development of an Earth re-entry vehicle, orbital fabrication lab designed to enable microgravity biomanufacturing and is intended to serve as a critical risk reduction platform from the company's future lunar sample return missions. Returning samples from space is one of the most complex challenges in exploration, said Tim Crane, Intuitive Machines' Chief Growth Officer. We are grateful to the state of Texas for fostering an environment where companies like Intuitive Machines may develop transformative space technologies. We hope that the Texas Space Commission's investment in this capability helps create high-tech jobs, expand Texas's leadership in space commercialization, and lay the foundation for new industries in the Lone Star State. Huh. That is a very weird looking spacecraft, but all right. Can we have Dream? Can we have Dream Chaser? No, we have Dream Chaser at home. Dream Chaser at home. Hey Ryan, thank you for the £1 super chat. Growth officer, is that a fancy term for acquisition? I think it means growing their business, making sure they get new businesses. And well, in this particular case, he got some business from the Texas Space Commission. Pretty good. Tim Crane is cool. We liked him. He's the dish guy. The dish. I don't know if you guys remember the IM-1 mission. The dish. He's that good. That guy. That guy's cool. Tim's cool. I never met the man though. All right. Well, that's kind of cool. Intuitive Machines picking up more contracts. That's good stuff. The other things that Intuitive Machines have is they have a commercial lunar payload services contract with NASA, landing 2 more landers on the moon. The first 2 did not work. The first 2 both actually fell over. So they have IM-3 and IM-4 with NASA. They are also working on a lunar relay network for connectivity around the moon for NASA. And now they're working with the Texas Space Commission, amongst other things. Pretty good portfolio there. Do you think the chopstick test they are doing might indicate that they might try to catch on Flight 9? Yum Food, I wouldn't be surprised if SpaceX did it. But also at the same time, I really, really, really don't think that that's a good idea. Especially with the ship being so untested. You know? I don't think they should be thinking about catching. I think SpaceX's priority should be get to orbit. You know? I think that's what they're focusing on. I do not think they'll... I really... It would be cool, but I really don't think so. How long until we get a Starship in a museum? That'd be kind of cool. You could put the museum inside a Starship. There's just so many unknown unknowns with Block 2, with the Block 2 ship going through re-entry because it's never happened. Yeah, I doubt that would happen. So, a little bit of good news on the political front here. This is coming from John Krause. The Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation has voted in favor of Jared Isaacman's nomination to be the next NASA administrator, advancing his nomination to the full U.S. Senate. And Rook had replied, an important milestone. I'm grateful to the president, the chairman of the committee, and all the voices of support. Hopefully I can earn the trust of even those with doubts. It's going to take a unified effort as we continue humankind's greatest adventure. Hey, go me. All right. Do we know the vote count? I actually don't know. Has there been any update with Starship? No launches coming up. I'll get to that, Sewer Rat, in a little bit. 19-9. Can I see who voted what, Trey? Oh. Do we have a link from the burger? Yeah, D-Pod. Yeah, I figured that guy was useless. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I want to see who voted what, just out of curiosity. Do we have a... Nelson's Senate vote happened literally the next day after it passed the committee, by the way. Of course it did. Of course it did. Yeah, of course he did, David. Being a big dill hole. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Of course. Hate that guy. I hate that guy. Sorry. I don't mean to be like that. Seriously though. Yeah, he's one of the senators from my state, Manfu. Hey, I bet. No, Graham, he didn't ask a dumb question. I just don't. I said this once. I'll say it again the other day, guys. I'm only gonna say it once, and I'm gonna change. Then we're going some. We'll do something else. I don't like that my senators, the senators that are from this state, I would say they represent the state, but that's what the representatives are for. But the senators from this state are really, really preoccupied with getting really nice sound clips from Congress to make themselves look good, but then they don't actually do anything. Like, that, therein lies, like, that's where I'm like, you know, like, it's, you guys talk a lot, but we really don't see a lot getting done there. Senators represent the state, representatives represent the people. Yeah, and as people coming, as senators representing my state, it's embarrassing. It's highly embarrassing. Like, and I don't necessarily mind the question that like Ed Markey asked. I think it's a good question, and I think it's pertinent to know. Absolutely, but you don't need to go like full kabuki. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be kabuki theater. You can just ask the question. Like, I don't. You're a senator. You're representing a state. Why be like that? I don't like it when anybody does it, for what it's worth. But since it's somebody from my state and it has to do with space, that pisses me off like doubly over. Yeah, spoiled. Let's not. It has nothing to do with partisan stuff, guys. I just don't appreciate people from my state carrying them out like that. That's not what our state's known for. Our state isn't known for doing stuff like that. We're known for being smart and very logical and very intuitive. Heck, Spock is from Massachusetts. Spock is from Massachusetts. That's what we are known. That's what we are known for. We are known for being logical and calculated. Like I said, Spock is from Boston. He's from the West End. Like, We have MIT, we have Harvard, you know, like the Boston University, Boston College, we have Suffolk, we have Tufts. Like this is a place of higher education. This is a place of decorum, and it's really annoying seeing them get caught up in it. That pisses me off. No, he's from Vulcan. Vulcan's near Boston. I just don't like it. It's stop. We're not, people from here aren't like that. Like, I mean, kind of are, but whatever. Anyway, Brady's got some, Brady finished doing all of his picture processing from the ESAR launch. Check this out. This was a month ago. This is a Spectrum launch. First commercial orbital rocket launch from Europe. Unfortunately, it didn't get very far. But these pictures, though. Yeah, that part kind of sucked. No, Baron, that's what I'm saying. Bro, like, aren't you not even a bit concerned with, you know, the NASA's facilities in your state at all? Like, it's freaking annoying, dude. Stop. Like, just got your sound clip. Good for you, pal. Dude, look at these pictures from Brady. These are sick. Look at that little guy. Look at it. It's just look at the little baby SPMTs. Well, look at all these little things. So busy now. Something that will cheer you up. The thing that you just linked a second ago. Is that transporter from IKEA? It's Norway, not Sweden, but yeah, maybe. There's a mass simulator over there. A mass simulator prototype. Dude, it's just weird seeing rockets in snow for me. Like, that's just weird. It looks, somehow though, it looks right. I mean, there is Plesetsk, and it does snow in Baikonur sometimes, right? And Vostochny, right? But that's just, yeah, that's just, you know, just something about it. It like, I'm not used to seeing it, but something about it looks right. You know what I mean? Yeah, Kodiak too. Yeah, that's right. There, yeah, Kodiak. Yeah, that's another good point. It just looks right. That looks correct. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, that's supposed to be like that. Weird seeing rockets in places that are completely flat. Yeah. So yeah, Brady's got some really awesome pictures. Good stuff. All right, so the next thing here is we got an update from the Polaris program. Science update. The Polaris Dawn crew of Jared Isaacman, Kid Poteet, Sarah Gillis, and Anna Menon, and dozens of principal investigators and scientists have convened in Houston, Texas, in early April to review the initial findings of the nearly 40 science and research experiments conducted during the Polaris Dawn campaign and its 5-day mission. Those experiments, spanning human physiology, molecular biology, radiation, plant growth, and operational technologies, provide crucial data to address the health and operational challenges of future long-duration human spaceflight, as well as human health on Earth. Many of these studies leverage the unique opportunities to collect data from the crew, both on orbit and within hours of their return to Earth, offering insights into the immediate adaptation of space and readaptation back to Earth. Cool. Cool. Sweet. That's awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Let's see. What else do we got? So that was from the Polaris Dawn mission. The Polaris Dawn mission was a privately funded commercial Dragon flight that went to the highest orbit that, or the highest altitude that anyone has been since Apollo. Yeah, which is pretty good. They flew up a good way up there, and they did tons of science. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so I didn't know Heisenberg liked space. Say my name. Heisenberg. You're gosh dang right. Anyway. All right, so what else do we got here? Yeah, I got rid of it. It's getting too hot in the shop. So, I am the one who knocks. You guys see a headphone now? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Played too many games as a kid. Played too many games, man. I told you. You look like a supervillain with the baldness and beard. Nice. Yeah, I mean, come on, look at me. Look at me. You guys see me 10 to 15 hours a day with headphones on. I got a headphone dent for days, man. It's a pretty good one. It took me a while. I worked on it a lot. Hey, look, it's Uncle Fester. I don't look like Uncle Fester. I look like Heisenberg, man. Heisenberg. I'm the one who knocks. I'll give $20 for you to go full shiny and break out the razor. No, I'm good. That requires more effort. Thanks, Maurice. See, people on YouTube chat are like, oh, you got a fresh cut. Oh, that looks great. People on YouTube are like, you look like Uncle Fester. Yeah, see? See, you know what? I kind of like them over there. I'm just saying. Thank you, YouTube chat. You guys are all right. You guys are all right. It's better than I can say about those weird Twitch folk. Yeah, right. Grizzly Adams had a beard. Yeah. I got nothing but compliments over in the YouTube chat. Twitch chat over here. I'm saying you're bald. Hey, I'll give you $25 to shave your head. Grizzly Adams had a beard. Wait, Grizzly Adams did have a beard. Anyway. I mean, it's called Twitch. Do you expect stable? All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that one. We always knew we were better. Fight. Streamer chat, fight. All right. So, this update's coming from SpaceX. We got the, Polaris Dawn was the commercial mission, but we got another one on the books here. The AX-4 crew recently completed training in California ahead of their upcoming mission to the space station. Falcon 9 is targeted to launch Dragon's third human spaceflight of the year, no earlier than May 29th, from Florida. This mission has a pretty international crew being commanded by Peggy Whitson. Peggy Whitson is an ex-NASA astronaut and an American, the most amount of time in space for an American. That's what I'm trying to say. She holds the record. Now, it's not the most time in space total. I think, who has it nowadays? Oleg Kononenko, I think, has it. Either that or Gennady Padelka. Let me see. Yep, there you go. It's Oleg. Oleg Kononenko has the most time in space of any person. And then Gennady is right behind him. I've met that dude, which is pretty cool. Yuri Matanchenko, he's retired. Crick, there's Sergey. I met that guy too. Me and Sawyer did one time. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Oleg still flies, which is pretty cool. He just came back actually on the MS-25 mission, I think. Schap retired, which kind of sucks. That guy, I liked him. He's cool. Big tank farm activity at Massey's. I'm getting to it, dude. Yeah, see, there's Peggy. She's the American that holds. I can never say it right. She's an American with the most time in space out of any American. That's what I'm trying. That wasn't even right, but you know what I mean. She's up there. Theodore Yuchikin, Anatoly Solovyev. Yep, and right behind Peggy is Sunita Williams. And then Alexei Ovchinin. He just came back with Don Pettit right there. Sergei Prokofiev has not flown. He hasn't flown recently. Oleg Artemyev is there. Man, the Russians launch a lot of people into space. Skvortsov is there. Volkov is there. Jeff Williams is there. He flew on Expedition 1, which is pretty cool. Mark Van High is there. Scott Kelly's down here, 29th most in space. He's retired. Kornienko. He did the year in space with Scott. Koichi Wakata is there. Yeah. There's Barry Wilmore. Mike Barrett's there. He flew on Cruise 7, I think. Shouldn't be, yes. Sonny shouldn't be up here, but you know, stuff happens. Ivan Wagner just came back down. He was there. He was up there with Don Pettit and Alexei Ovchinin. Thomas Pesquet is there. He's 39th overall. Mike Fink is there. He's going to fly on the next Dragon mission. Chris Cassidy, he retired, but he spent a lot of he did a long duration stay on the space station. Ryzikov is there. Leonid Denisovich Kizim was a Soviet cosmonaut. All right, cool. Great bio. Sweet. Yeah, Cassidy's a Navy SEAL. He was a Navy SEAL as well. Yep. Oh, we got a taikonaut. Number 50. Yi Guangfu. Chinese fighter pilot. Taikonaut. Shenzhou. Veteran of Shenzhou 13 and 18. He's the record holder. He's the current Chinese record holder for longest duration spaceflight. There you go. Frank Rubio did 370. That was recent. That was a couple years ago with Dmitry Pelitin and Sergei Prokofiev. Yeah, that was a long... They left that Soyuz up there for a long time, dude. Dude, yeah. Polyakov, 437 days consecutive. That's crazy, man. One of my favorites is the poor cosmonaut that got stuck on Mir when the CCCP collapsed. That's Krikalev. That's Sergei Krikalev, dude. I've met him. I've met that guy. He runs the cosmonaut corps. Yeah, see, he's head of the GCTC, the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center. Dude, I've met that guy. I shook that dude's hand. Peggy versus Johnny Kim fight. I mean, Johnny Kim's gonna win, but it's fine. I don't know, Surat. I like, dude, that's one of my few like Sawyer flexes. But Sawyer was there, so whatever. He got stuck. So Krikalev, his first space flight was in the late 80s going to the Mir space station. Well, early 90s, I should say. And his country collapsed. Yeah, the Soviet Union collapsed while he was doing a long duration stay on Mir. Yep. I can't believe you guys don't know this. Yeah, Krikalev, the last Soviet citizen. Seriously, he had to emigrate back to his own country. Yeah. What do you mean, John? Yeah, probably, Bob. How long was he stuck for? Oh, dude, see last for crunching results. We have ourselves a hungry... Yep. Yep. Let me check. When he was up there, there was an attempted coup by hardliners, I thought. I need to see when he was up there. Hold on. Spacecraft Soyuz TM-7 remained docked to Mir for the duration of EO4. At the end of EO4 in April 1989, due to delays in the launch schedule, Mir was left uncrewed, and all 3 EO4 members were transferred back to Earth. Spacecraft spent, yeah, so this, jeez, it launched in May of 91. And it came down in October. Yeah. Yep. Spacecraft spent 144 days docked to Mir. When it was on orbit, the failed coup d'etat against Mikhail Gorbachev in August 1991 rocked the Soviet Union, setting in motion events which led to the end of the Soviet Union on the 26th of December. Yep. But Krikalev stayed there. He stayed up there on TM-13. So he came back on the 25th of March, 1992, near Jezkazgan. Yep. Soyuz returned from Mir with German Klaus-Dietrich Flaude and Krikalev and Volkov, dubbed by some citizens as the last citizens of the USSR, because they had launched from the Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic within the USSR and landed in what had become an independent Republic of Kazakhstan. Yep. Yeah, dude. Dude, can you believe that? How much did the world change? So when did he launch? Hold on. He launched on TM-12. So he launched in May of 91. And came back on the 25th of March, 1992. Dude, the guy came back to quite literally a different world. Like, a different world. Came back without a valid passport. Yeah, he had, like I said, guys, he had to emigrate to his own country. You believe that? The country he left, the country he launched from didn't exist anymore. And the country he was born in didn't exist anymore. So they just forget him or what? No, they didn't forget him. He just he stayed up there to kind of man the station. Crazy, right? If only there was an NSF video premiering right now featuring this mission.
The stranded astronauts are finally home. After a planned 8-day mission to the ISS, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams splashed down near Florida to a hero's welcome. You've probably heard this all over the news recently. The crew missed family events, birthdays and Christmas, while engineers tried to determine if Boeing's Starliner capsule was safe to return on. It feels unprecedented to end up spending way more time in space than you originally planned for. But it's actually not. It's happened quite a few times before. From an actor taking your seat to another broken spacecraft and your home country disappearing from the world map. These are the stories of the stranded astronauts you weren't told about.
Hey, alright, alright, alright. Dang, NSF on the pulse. Guys, go check that video out. Here, I'll link it in both chats. Hey, well then. Well, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Check that out. Did we talk Starship yet? Well, does Ryan like dolphins? Well, he's a pro. It's right in his name. As a side note, EJ, I did not, in fact, know about that vid either. Well, now you know. And yeah, go watch it, dude. I'm sure it's good. So, we talking Starship. Maybe. I mean, Farnak Culbertson was the only American not on Earth on 9/11, so that's a big change. Also, that we know of. Ah, look at that. Baron, what's up? This is, when is this? This is March 24th, so this is just a month ago. Great news. Sergei Krikalev has officially been appointed Deputy General Director of Roscosmos for Crewed and Automated Complexes. Despite the fact that I have great doubts about the policy of the new head of Roscosmos, this is good news. Yeah, he runs the crew spaceflight program. Huh. Oh, nice, Deadbringer. Okay. Cool. I think we knew that. I just forgot it off the top of my head. So we got a time lapse from Elisar here. Let's see what's up. Now we're talking Starship. So this was last night. 500 times the speed. Hello. Hello. Jeez. The old switcheroo. So that was 35. Let me read the caption here just to make sure. A different perspective of the overnight ship shuffle from one of the fixed angle NASA spaceflight cameras. It's a CP-11, whatever. It's not fixed. We can move it. LSR, jeez. Cameras from the arrival of Ship 36 to the Mega Bay. Door closing around 7 hours later with it safely inside. Yes. Ship 36 did cryo. And then what we saw leaving was this thing right here. So that's Ship 35. SpaceX did try to do a static fire last night. There was a static fire attempt, but it didn't go. They ended up detanking. So Ship 35 is out there. Just went in for an oil change. Yep. We are seeing some tank farm activity at Massey's here, but not a lot. So We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, let's take. That is a new wide-angle cam in the same slot as CP11. That is stationary. I was making a joke, Jack, but yeah, sure. Yeah. It was. Okay, the joke didn't land. You're right. Next Starship launch when? Stare. I don't know. I mean, Sewer Rat, if I had to put... Yeah, Ari over in the YouTube chat. I think if I had to guess at this particular moment in time, it's probably 2 weeks out. Any difference between these particular ships? There's thousands of little small changes, Toothless. I really hope ship 35 is different than 34 and 33, or else it's gonna blow up. 33. So 33 was a Block 2 version of Starship. That was like version 2 of the ship. It exploded. And then ship 34, which was also a Block 2, launched like a month later. And it also exploded. Yeah, it ejected an engine out the back. So 35, I'm not sure of the subtle differences, to be honest with you. You meant more 35, 36, 37. I'm sure there's something, dude, but it's not anything we can particularly see, guys, unless my math is serving me wrong. Do we know if 33 and 34 died from the same issues or slightly different? Ari, I would say that it most likely is a similar thing. If you compare the flights, Flight 7 and Flight 8, they blew up within 20 seconds of each other on the mission clock. It's most likely the same thing, dude. The catch fitting on ship 35 is structural. They lifted the ship by attaching it. Cool. Do you think they did more mitigations or they replaced the aft sections? I think they did more mitigations. I think, once again, Jack, going back to it, I think a fix is coming down the pipe. There will be... SpaceX already has a fix for this problem. I think the fix most likely has something to do with Raptor 3. But until then, we're going to see some mitigations. I really think the company is mostly focused on trying to get Starship into space, which is why they're willing to do mitigations over like waiting for the fix to come down the assembly line. Actually, I think their goal is get to space and don't blow up on the way up, because you got to think about it. You could do. So say SpaceX wants to go to do these Artemis missions, right? Refueling HLS, tankers, etc., etc. You could get away with that with expendable starships. You cannot get away with that with expendable boosters, right? So the booster catch obviously was tantamount. They got that figured out pretty good. But if Starship can't get into orbit, you're screwed. Like I mean, obviously, but. Yes, they lifted the ship from the pins. That's really cool, actually. But remember, flight data is king. Remember, correlation doesn't equal causation. You're gonna say that to the guy that reads about this every day and has committed his life to learning about this stuff. Black, correlation doesn't equal causation. What the hell is it then? What the hell is it? The answer, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, I don't know the answer to that question. Seriously, a RUD in the exact same spot with the exact same failure mode, 20 seconds of each other on 2 different flights with the same exact system, it's the same one. We don't know that. It's not official, Same thing, dude. It's the same problem. I'm telling you. Like, you want more causation there? Look at how bummed out the SpaceX announcers were at the end of Flight 8. Kate and Dan were like, I hate everything. It looked like somebody kicked their dog. Like, what else could that be, dude? What else could it be? What else could explain the long gap in flights if it wasn't the same thing? Like, do you have a honestly, Black, you got a better solution? You got a better idea? Like, that's right, Bill. Yeah, it's happened. SpaceX. That's why SpaceX has the guide rod on Falcon 9, so it pushes the stage straight away. Do you think return with the aft of V1 is a good idea? No. No, I think, guys... Hold on, let me just make sure I'm caught up over here. You mentioned that they would only be able to fix the vehicles that were still in production during 7. Ship 35 was built before or after 7. I don't know. I don't remember. From what I understand, fellas, you're in a weird spot here with the Block 2 ships, because the Block 2 ships are really I think Block 2 is optimized around Raptor 3, to be honest with you. It's kind of really, there are some changes that they made. So like, okay, so here's the thing. Here's where I'm coming from with this. You got to think about this logically, right? Why would SpaceX change to a Block 2? Why would they change the plumbing? Why would you do that? Why would you do that unless you were anticipating some slightly different type of propulsion, right? Why would you do that? One was working just fine. Why would you change it, right? They had to have done it for a reason. They didn't just do it willy-nilly because they felt like it, right? They definitely didn't do it for that reason. SpaceX doesn't work like that. The iterations that they do are iterating towards a result. Now, why would you go change the plumbing around on your vehicles and not change the propulsion and hope that it's going to be exactly the same? It's not. Right? I could have told you that. I did say that, but anyway. My guess is that these ships are really building for Raptor 3. They're building for Raptor 3. I think that's why they have these mitigations instead of a straight fix. Some of the components, this plumbing system, these triple down tubers or whatever, are really there for some reason with Raptor 3s. I don't know what that could be. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. I think we have this kind of weird hybrid rocket. Raptor 2s on a Block 2 that should be Raptor 3s on a Block 2, but Raptor 3s aren't ready yet, so you got Raptor 2s on a Block 2. You know? I really, honestly, and truly think that SpaceX wouldn't be making mitigations unless they had a fix coming down the road. Like I said, they wouldn't. And they're making mitigations. Anytime they do mitigations like this, like what we saw during the suborbital HOP program, they couldn't get the autogenous pressurization working on Raptor correctly, so they went to helium. They went to a temporary helium ullage system, and it worked. And then a Raptor engine, when Starship was doing a flip, I think it was on SN 8 or 9 or something, ingested helium and the engine exploded. So they made a mitigation because they didn't have a fix yet. They got autogenous pressurization figured out, and now it's not an issue anymore. See what I'm saying? I think they already have a fix. I think the fix is coming down the pipe. It's coming down the assembly line. And I think the fix has something to do with Raptor 3. Because once again, it just goes back to this logic exercise in my head. Why would you change the plumbing that works unless you were changing the engine soon, right? Why would you do that? Why would someone even bother doing that? Why? Right? The new turb is down tubers. I gotta tell Jack. Yeah. The tiles aren't falling off, so that's good. Yep. Wait till you know that ship 40 is already getting built with 6 vacuum engines. Yeah. Like I said, you wouldn't change the plumbing, and you wouldn't change the plumbing and not the propulsion unless you had a change to your propulsion down the line that's not ready yet. That's what I'm trying to say. They wouldn't go and change to that triple down tuber design if they weren't going to change something else, a big propulsion change. Like, I don't know, 9 engines or Raptor 3 or something. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Like, they're making mitigations with the fire suppressant and the attic and everything and carrying CO2 and stuff because they're just trying to get flight data, because at the end of the day, flight data is king. You're not going to get good at catching boosters by launching one and catching it and then launching one another year later and hoping it's going to have to do the same thing. Rapid iteration and rapid prototyping are how you do this, and sometimes that means that the stage blows up. Oh, yeah, Bob, of course. I mean, it's just facts. What I meant is possibly likely the same issue, but until SpaceX says otherwise, it could technically be a different issue with similar symptoms. Look, Black. If it quacks like a duck, and it looks like a duck, and it sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck. Okay? Maybe it's a goose. Who knows? Dude, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know. I guess, like, what do I know? I just watch these all day. I just sit here. I have this on 24/7 whenever I'm streaming. Like, or a goose. What's up, Yarg? You know, like, yeah, it's possible that it's a different failure, but judging by what I saw, it does not look like a different failure. It looks pretty much exactly the same. Raptors do hyonk, though. They do. In this case, they didn't, though. There's an inherited problem with Raptor, leaks, performance fluctuations, and hard start requirements. Raptor 3, holy Jesus, man, that's a huge paragraph. Raptor 3, well, it's going to solve a lot of problems with reliability. It's introducing a lot of maintenance issues. The engine is extremely simplified, but it's running an insane chamber pressure. If you get a failure or a sensor issue or manifold burn through, you'll need to send the engine back for excessive maintenance by cutting that entire part. V2 ships were made to work with Raptor 3, but the engine team fell behind in the dev curve. The build team drives the requirements, and the engine side has a job by keeping up. Mass creep on Starship is insane. Build team adds parts. They ask propulsion for performance. That thing ballooned with heat shield and flap problems, which made SpaceX jumps to V2. Meanwhile, the engine team could not make V3 in time. It's a dynamic feedback loop. It could be a slightly different issue that they did not expect, that they didn't mitigate with second failure accrued. Then they would have, Yuri, if that was the case, they would have flown. They would have flown already. They would have flown another flight quicker. The huge delay in flight between Flight 8 and Flight 9 is a pretty big red flag to me, Black Eagle, that it was the same problem. You know? Baron, also, you know, you said Raptor 3, well, it's going to solve a lot of problems with reliability. It's introducing a lot of maintenance issues. The engine is extremely simplified. By running an insane chamber pressure, if you get a failure, a sensor issue, or manifold burn through, you need to send the engine back for extensive maintenance by cutting that entire part out. Yeah. Yeah, but the engine is easier to manufacture, so you'll have more of them. Do you understand that? It's not like a shuttle engine. If a shuttle engine has a problem, like a hydraulic leak, for instance, and your entire integration and development cycle gets delayed by a month. Raptor 3 is designed to be made quickly. It's not designed to be maintained. It's designed for mass production. Right? It's not designed to be maintained. So if something breaks, all right, screw it. Scrap the engine, put another one in. It's quite literally a throwaway engine, which is hilarious to me because it's a throwaway engine on an expendable vehicle. I get the impression engines are supposed to be consumables. Raptor 3 is not easy to manufacture. On the contrary, it's more difficult. Even Elon said it. Then why are they doing it, dude? Why are they doing it? You're not making sense. You're talking in circles. We did, Shaw. Uh-huh. That's exactly it, Trey. Performance. All right? It doesn't... Dude. I don't know. Do you want me to sit here and explain it? You want me to sit here and explain it? Elon didn't say Raptor 3 is harder to manufacture. He said it's a harder engineering problem to solve. Okay? It's a harder engineering problem to solve because they're eliminating flanges and replacing them with welds to make it easier to manufacture. So they can mass produce them. They can mass produce them so they can launch a lot of starships. If you can't scale your production, your reusable vehicle means nothing. Look at the shuttle program. So I'm not buying that, Baron. I'm not buying that it's harder to manufacture. It's probably harder to manufacture right now, but eventually it would be very, very, very wrong, I think, to think that SpaceX isn't developing it to be made a lot. It's obviously they simplified the design there to build a lot of these things. Obviously, they're doing it because they needed more performance to keep up with the build team demands and to solve the insane issue that they deleted the heat exchanger. And they're now dumping water in the main tank and will make it impossible to use Raptor 2 with tanker ships. Raptor 3 is about more performance because it is necessary to achieve the goals, regardless of if it's harder to build. They don't care, and they expect that problem to be solved like everything else. You seem convinced. I highly, highly disagree. I think you're wrong. Yeah, I think that's incorrect. They're stretching the performance, but it's not stretching the performance by that much. You're gonna refactor your entire turbine machinery and feed lines for like 30 bar more chamber pressure? Bullcrap. And you're saying, oh, you know, it's this dynamic feedback loop between the build team and the engine team. It's iterative, dude. It's an iterative design. They're changing things all the time. There's no dynamic feedback loop here. Everybody's just iterating and building. The problems will get solved. That's what Artemis 2 is doing. They swapped out 1 RS-25 for 3 RS-25s when they fix Artemis 2 RS-20. Yeah, exactly, Yuri. That's why I made the joke. In order for Raptor, like, you know, you could say like, oh, Raptor, they did it for the performance. They did it performance because they had these bad mass margins that they have to overcome. That is not a reason, even in an iterative capacity, to change your propulsion. I'm sorry, it's not. Raptor 3 is designed to, I mean, it does have those performance marks, of course, but you're not going to refactor your entire plumbing to get a couple more kilonewtons of thrust, right? That makes no sense. That motor is designed to be mass-produced, just like Starship is designed to be mass-produced. There's no way they're not doing that. You're not going to get to a Starship rolling out of the assembly line every day with an engine that's hard to manufacture. There's no way SpaceX would trend in the opposite direction from that. Why would they trend in the opposite direction of their direct stakeholder expectations? That makes no sense. Entropy, that's exactly what I'm getting at. I don't buy it, Baron. I don't buy this dynamic feedback loop. I don't buy that at all. they made Raptor 3. Raptor 3 is the way it is because it's supposedly in the long run it'll be easier to manufacture, so you can make a lot of them. It is, conversely, it's harder to work on because all the components are welded together. You're going to have to grind something apart if you want to fix it. It's a throwaway engine. Just like if your TV breaks, you're not going to go fix it. You throw it away and you buy another one. That, but with rocket engines. Why does throwaway culture exist? Because you can mass produce stuff cheaply. China. But that's the idea. That's the whole thing. Teslas are built like that. Teslas aren't really designed to be worked on. If it breaks, go get another one. This is Elon to a T, man. I don't understand why you think it's different. And you can't take them apart or fix them on the moon or Mars anyways. There you go, man. You have your TVs repaired. That's good, man. Good for you. You are an anomaly in an otherwise culture that trends towards throwing away stuff. That's like me saying, you know, oh, on guys are average 5'9". You know, guys on an average height for a guy is 5'9", and you saying, well, I'm 6'3". Yeah. Okay. Averages. Sorry, I'm just messing with you. You're killing me right now. You're killing me, dude. You're killing me right now. To be clear, that's not necessarily positive overall, but it meets the needs. I think it meets the needs for what SpaceX is trying to do right now, Aqualux. Yeah. I hate throwaway culture. Why do you think I'm trying to fix that crap box sedan in the garage? Because I don't like throwaway culture. I like old cars. I fix old car. Old car better. I'm 5'10". EJ's a tower. I'm 5'11.75. Does it decimal points with inches? Nice, dude. The current Raptor design, if they did complete design freeze right now, is a work of art. Small example. Even the 33 engines on a Super Heavy aren't identical. There's slight performance fluctuations, but they take that into account. Another thing is that it's the same feedback loop that Falcon 9 went through. Block 5 is nearly stable, and they still add upgrades from time to time. Merlin started with 340, now it's 845. The notion of staying with a single sacred design isn't a thing they do. I don't understand what you're trying to tell me with that, but yeah, that's right. Now you're going to try to fix it because you're the most stubborn son of a boop on Twitch. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that. Better. You might need to define that more specifically. Older cars are designed to be taken apart and fixed. They are specifically built with the engineering expectation that you're not going to go find another alternator for it, but you're actually going to take the alternator apart and fix it, and fix parts in the alternator, not just buy another alternator. I have the shop manual, Wisp, for that Coronet. Every single part on that car is designed to be taken apart and serviced. That is not how real cars nowadays work. Cars nowadays do not work like that. Cars nowadays are designed to be driven to about 100,000 miles and then throw it away. I mean, if they gave you a Raptor 3 with a damaged power pack, would you say no? No, I'd hang that in my garage. We have a new telescope soon and it's Russian. It's gonna launch in like 2036 or something, goalie. Who cares? I thought this was space news. Jeez, Twitch chat, I thought this was space news. They do that, Trey. Weirdos. Anyway, the recondenser's on. But yeah, once again, I think that these problems with Block 2 are just a result of iterative design, guys. I think they'll fix it. I had the pleasure when I was down there last of talking to a guy that, dude,
Discovery.
this guy, we'll call him Philip. Right? I talked to this guy when I was out in the dunes setting up cameras for NSF. Philip has one of the most badass jobs at SpaceX that I can think of. Philip is in charge of procuring the equipment, all the GSE equipment. So, like, the jigs, the transport stands, the cranes. You know, he's in charge of procuring all the materials needed to build all this stuff. It's like one of the most kick-ass jobs ever. Yeah, he helps build the machine that builds the machine. That is like, Philip does one of the coolest freaking jobs at SpaceX. And that's what Philip was telling me. He was telling me this stuff. He was telling me, like, sometimes stuff is iterating faster than others, right? And so you end up getting these weird hybrid designs, guys. That's where my theory comes from. He didn't tell me that exactly, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was getting at. Like, that's why, some of the transport stands for Starship are older than others, and some are newer. Some are different. Some have a bolt here. Some have a bolt there. Right? Only you would pick that as the coolest job at SpaceX, dude. You get to the guy literally gets to source the materials for building all the cool infrastructure, like the jigs, for building nose cones, the freaking transport stands and stuff. I'm like, dude, that is the sickest job ever, and you can't say that it isn't, man. Yeah, like buying cranes and stuff. I'm like, bro, Philip has the sweetest job, right? And he had the stones to come up to me and be like, I love what you do on NSF, man. Thank you for doing it so much. I'm like, man, what are you thanking me for? Thank you. Your job's awesome, Yeah, pretty much, geek. That's pretty much the dude's job.
Discovery. Go and throttle up.
He's a procurement buyer for SpaceX. That's so sick, dude. That's the best job ever. It's the sickest job ever. Yeah. So he was telling me how, like, sometimes you'll get something coming down the pipe that's for a version of Starship that basically doesn't exist yet. His job allows you and NSF to do this job. Exactly, dude. EJ, do you want an RS-25 assembly kit to make in your garage? Like those engines that reassembled them after every flight? Oh, I'd do it, Yuri. Sure. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be able to stream it, though. Uncle Sam might get a little pissed off. Did you ask if you can climb on a crane? No. No. But yeah, I asked Philip, I'm like, bro, you ever played Factorio? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, that explains a lot. I'm serious, dude. I was like, you ever play Factorio? Yeah, Philip's a cool dude. Hopefully I can see him again when we get down there next time. I still think we're about 2 weeks out, guys, from another flight. I thought they would get it done and they would be flying this week, but nah. I err on the side of optimism in my flight prediction. Sorry. I like Elon time. Sorry. Iterative design is nearly the same thing as the feedback loop. They fly, they fail, they build, they fix again. I don't have anything against Raptor. It's a work of art, but you can't deny it. It's a work of art, but you can't deny it. But look at Starship's payload capacity. V2 was like 151 tons, now dropped to 100. Mass creep is crazy on Starship. Yeah, it's because it's made out of stainless steel. First stage isn't doing a lot of the work anyways. Look at the V2 stage separation speed compared to Falcon 9. They offloaded a lot of work to the second stage. It's funny because that's what happened to Saturn V, Baron. Well, the team I work with play a lot of KSP. The team you work with plays lots of KSP team in. Yeah, of course. I work with a lot of buyers. Sourcing stuff is not hard. The tough bits are all in the logistics, lead time, delivery, ETA. Yeah, Bob. I mean, I'm figuring if Homeboy's doing it for SpaceX, it's probably Philip's probably pretty damn good at what he does. Because he's been there a good while. Depends on what happens tonight with Ship 35. Will I go? Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I'll do... you guys know the drill. What we'll do, if, you know, for Flight 9, if I do end up... AB0, 52-month resub. Geeson had a Tier 2 91-monther 3 minutes ago. 91 in French is 4-21, or 4-20-11. 80 plus 11. The French counting system is unique and a fun trivia fact in itself. Oh, God. Okay. Nice. Yeah, if I do go down to Flight 9, you guys know the drill. It'll just be space. We'll just do space news. We'll do space news, and I'll give you guys updates to what I'm doing. I would really like to be able to work on the car, but that's not going to be near me, so I'll work on somebody's car. 4 to 6 week lead times that work for other industries must absolutely not work for SpaceX. I mean, Philip has a lucrative job, Bill. Crazy, man. Absolutely insane. Like, I can only imagine. It's, you know, hey, I need like 30 tons of steel tomorrow. What? Yeah, 30 tons of steel tomorrow. Can you do that? Nope. All right, fine. I'll find somebody else. Bye. For re-entry, do you think V2 will stow the flaps fully and just use RCS? No, it'll be a combination of both of them, Erudite. It'll use RCS in the higher parts of the atmosphere with the flaps folded back, and then as you get further and further into the atmosphere, the flapper arms will do more. How far in advance did you book your flight last time? Oh, jeez. Couple of days. With Flight 8, Jack, Flight 8 was originally scheduled to go on a Tuesday, and I got a call from DAS, or I got a text from DAS on Sunday. That Sunday before that Tuesday that said, hey, be in Texas tomorrow. Okay. See you there. And then I showed up, and he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, I'll be in Texas on Tuesday. I'm all right. All right. It's like that scene in The Town. Hey, I need you for something. You can never ask me about it. A lot of people are going to get hurt. Whose car we taking? You know? No, Das did fine. Sorry, I meant stowing just the forward flaps. Hold on. What is that? Diesel truck. That's an old diesel. And then we ended up spending 2 weeks there, so that was good. I really, really can't do that every time, guys. Like, I can't spend 2 weeks in Texas every month. EJ's detected a truck. Yeah, that happens, dude. Do we know if the next flight will return the same deliberate stress testing and new heat shield technology test that we saw in the last two? Yes. If anything, this is a more built-out system. They have the actual catch pins, structural catch pins badger on it this time. They're not going to go for a catch, though. No way. I would not do that unless I got some good EDL data. Entry, descent, and landing data on Starship Block 2. Say my last, it would be super cool. Stuff like the idea of you getting in there with hard hats and checking things out for us. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. This is selfish of me, but I liked when you watched re-entry with us. That Ship 30 entry was nuts. Pin survive re-entry? I don't see why they wouldn't. I've been wanting to go for a long time, but there hasn't been a time where I can clear a month out of my schedule because I don't know when it'll launch. That's the play. That dude, Jack, that's this business, man. There's a reason why I don't go to every rocket launch and why I only go to Starship. Because I know if we go to a Starship launch, I can stream. I can stream from the hotel or stream from the NSF bunkhouse and not stream for 2 weeks. I can work remotely, so to speak, you know? I would land it in the Gulf if I could, though, yeah. What's cool about procurement is the connections you have and how effectively you can make calls to get X amount of something in a matter of hours. Your dad is a director of procurement at a big IT company. You could just call a guy and have a few dozen of the latest whatever. It's cool, Wooly. Yeah, that's really neat, man. When I got my desk at work, the last guy had a Jeb poster. Most of my floor plays KSP, and you have an autism chart in the entrance. That's okay. I mean, those are the right people you want working on spaceflight. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. You need people that are anal retentive, or else something will blow up. Like, that's the truth. Like, that is the 100%. You need people like that. You need people that are obsessive compulsive running the space program, because it has to be clean. It has to be perfect, and everything has to be right. And if it's not, it blows up. Like, that's fair. No, I'm not erudite. I don't know. I think I was just dropped on my head too much as a kid. Like, that's, to be fair, those are the neurodivergent people are the kind of people you want running your space program. Like, that's, it needs to be right. It can't not be right. If it's not right, it blows up. You know? Like, think about it, dudes. It's not the word. It makes sense when you think about it. Like, those are people you want working on your space program, right? Yeah, you got a touch of the tism. Yeah. Shane Gillis, like, has this thing, like, it kind of nicked me. Like, maybe it nicked me a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe got a little bit. Like, I do understand that very, like, okay. I'll use the car, the Dodge, as an example. I see that, and I know, like I said, I know it's not worth it to rebuild the car, but I'm going to. And if we're going to rebuild it, I'm not just welding in some crappy patch panels. I want it to look like it came from the factory. That's what I want our work to look like. I have this very, 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 very big overarching need to make it perfect. Baron, is it something like that? It has to be perfect. It has to be right. Like, I don't give a frick. I don't care. If it takes more time, it takes more time. It's got to be perfect. It has to be perfect. It's not perfect, frick off. I'm not putting some license plates in the floor of my damn car, all right? And saying, like, oh, it's good. No, frick that. We go factory. We're going to be even more precise than the stupid factory. The factory calls for quarter-inch tolerances. Screw that. We're going to be perfect. It's going to be dead-on balls accurate, all right? You know, like, I have this overwhelming need to make it, like, perfect. It has to be. Like, if we're gonna do all that work, it has to, like, those are the type of people you want running your space program, man. So, like, I don't know, maybe it nicked me or something. But you don't have any laser levels. Why don't you laser level this boy? I'll figure it out. And then the wheel falls off. You gotta do me like that, Mutter? Jackass. You're never gonna live it down, bro. See that, but what that shows, what Mutter's saying shows that it nicked me, and I didn't get the full brunt of it. You know what I mean? I didn't get the full brunt, maybe a little bit. Like, I didn't get the full brunt of it, dude. Yeah, I mean, that proves my point. I got it, glancing hit. I didn't get nat 20'd by autism. Okay. I'm sure some of you here did, and you know what? That's cool. Like I said, those are the type of people you want running your space program, the people that are anal retentive about everything. Because it has to. Spaceflight is one of those very, very, very particular circumstances where it has to be absolutely perfect, and if it's not, it blows up. Yeah, it has to be perfect. Get me CAD goggles. We'll make sure it's perfect. Actually, dudes, I was thinking about that. What is the, here, you know what? I will tie this into space news a little bit. More aviation news, but... So when... And I know this is like a thing with planes. So when Lockheed was building the X-59, right? They have this thing. What's that thing right there? This thing. I know what that thing does. I don't know the name. So Hellfish, is that the laser level? What that thing is a bunch of laser pointers that's designed to locate this thing in 3D space and make sure that your tolerances are right. Kind of the same way, or else it's got to be perfect. Total station. This thing right there. Because they're definitely using it. I know what they're doing. They're using those things to clock the thing in 3D space on its jig. All right? And that's getting inputted into the computer to make sure that their tolerances on the actual jig match the CAD model perfectly. That's what's going on there. You're missing an exhaust pipe, pal. That did not sound healthy. That V8 did not sound happy. I don't think that was a bike, dude. That's the thing with the lasers. Yeah. So, dude, if I can figure out a way to do stuff like that and get a readout, I'll do it. Google a total station. That's expensive. Oh. Okay, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't do that. That looks like a Leica MS60. You know what? We'll just measure it. We'll just measure it. Yep. The tape measure is good enough in a plumb bob. We could just measure it. Yeah. We'll just measure. Yeah. We'll just measure it, dudes. It'll be, yeah, you know, we'll just measure. You know, we don't need to do that. I'm pretty sure a plumb bob and a measuring tape is and a level, it might be, you know, it'll be just as precise. I don't think I'm sad. I can lend you my 3D scanner, 0.02 millimeter precision, but it takes a while. No, I'm... But you got that streamer money! I don't... Valve index in their lighthouses. Just use the equipment they had available when the car was built. Okay, plumb bob and level it is. Done. No, the exact model you're seeing in the Lockheed picture, it's a Leica AT960. We use it to manage build requirements. Baron, it's 140 grand. $140 Gs? I heard Leica. What are we measuring? Right. I was looking into seeing, if we make the jig for the car using one of these total stations here. I didn't even know what the name was, to be honest, to measure everything out to make sure our tolerances are good. But I you know what? I'll just use a level. I'll just use a level and a plumb bob. Yeah, and a tape measure. I'll just I'll just I'll just use that. Yeah, that's a lot less expensive. Levels are like $20. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ask Rick to do it. Yeah. I would like to do that, but I don't think we can do that. I retract my previous statement. I don't know what a plumb bob is, but I like the word. So Steve Ree, it's like, it's just a metal, it's like a metal tube with a point with a cone on the end, and you have a hole in the top to hang it from a string to get a straight line. That's what plumb means in English. It's like plumb straight. Use gravity, because gravity's always going to give you a straight line. I have one, guys. I'll just go get it. I have a plumb. This is a plumb. You hold it straight, and it gives you a straight line. This is how they used to measure things in 3D.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Quietos.
I found a book called How to Solve 50% of Your Problems. So I bought 2 books.
So what about that streamer money or something? It's a plumbus. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Doom, I saw your link. Okay. Fun fact, the 18960 is mandated by the FIA to verify the build of the car before the race. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just use the plumb. Yeah, it's just, see, there's a little point on the end so it can leave a mark, right? So you can get a point in 3D space. Also, the string is tangled up, and that's just super cool to see. You're $1 closer. Yeah. Perfectly plumb. Anyway, so maybe we don't use that laser, the total station. Maybe we don't use those. If a vehicle has been structurally compromised, do you think it's a smart thing to drive it or not drive it? Because I'm having people tell me to drive the car if I need to go somewhere but don't go too far. Yeah, drive it if you have to, Clayton, but I wouldn't. Plumb Bob SquarePants. Fortunately, plums don't work for curves. Yeah. I found a car you can work on after this. Yeah, that, Yeah, I'll just use the freaking bug. Gotcha. Gotcha. Owned. Get frick, nerd. Think you can fly around in my studio? It's my studio. Why don't you take it to an auto body shop with a laser frame adjuster? Because I want my own laser frame adjuster. That was the whole exercise, dude. Still got the bug assault gun? Yep, yep. Plumb that bug. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that better? If someone clicked on this stream right now, they're probably a little confused. Yeah, they're probably a little confused. I'm just going to put that down. Is this how you're going to rebuild the engine? Mute the audio. Event dudes, Philip said something about you looking for that streamer money. Oh, jeez. Event dudes, you didn't need to do that. I appreciate it though, man. That video is. You lost. Twitter visibly disturbed you. Oh crap! You're right. Damn it! But it wasn't the algorithm. It wasn't the algorithm that did it. That was a viewer that did it. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Have you built model rockets before? Believe it or not, Jack, not for a long time. Not since I was just a wee lad. Putting the plum down over there. It doesn't count. No, it's the whole point of that. The whole point of it is algorithm induced. Half counts? I don't know. Whatever. All right. Well, good conversations, guys. Good space news. Do you hear that? Hold on. Did I talk about Psyche? Psyche has a fuel leak. It's not great. Nice, Doom. It's time. It's time. Hang on, I'm just clicking through some links here. What are the prospects on that? On what? It's MSC time, dude. Ever since you said that, if you want to be a launch director, then pay attention to every detail. Holy crap, I've noticed stuff that I probably never would have. It's how you got to be, Enzo. On Psyche, they didn't really say much, dude. The NASA, the release for it was just that Psyche, we're monitoring a fuel leak. A suspected fuel leak, so I don't know. What is this, Helpish? You need a camera on that road so we can see what made the noise. Yeah, that's true. Oh, the close call for the Phantom? Yeah. Bro, what a beautiful airplane. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A lesser plane would have crashed. A plane with less thrust, yeah. That is a really wondering what this pilot was up to. NASA said they're running on backup, so they're figuring out what's going on. There you go. I'll give you more updates on a later space news. That guy almost died. Yeah, that was a Code Brown. All right. Cool. That's going to do it for space news. It's time for my summer car. I will jog the VOD. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Pooping his pants. That's what he's up to. Yes, precisely. All right. Time for summer car. You guys know the drill on YouTube. I'm going to jog the VOD. We'll get to summer car part 2 starting in a couple minutes. All right. I hope you enjoyed space news. I'll see you tomorrow again for more.